Knuckles, the red echidna that's been a mainstay in the series since 1994, and my personal favorite Sonic character. Today we're ranking every Knuckles appearance in every Sonic game that he's in. I'll be ranking his appearances mostly based on how well Knuckles is characterized in these games, but I'll also account for things like relevance and feats. With that said, let's get right into it. Starting with his debut game, Sonic 3. And Knuckles. Knuckles is really cool in this game. He mostly acts as an obstacle to Sonic, constantly making the levels harder in a bunch of different ways, like dropping the floor beneath him a few times, making the level all dark, and punching a boulder at Sonic that sends him down a cliff. His most iconic feat in this game, however, is punching the Chaos Emeralds right out of Super Sonic, thus solidifying him as one of the strongest Sonic characters. Most of the game, Knuckles works with Eggman, who tricks him into thinking that Sonic is the enemy, but eventually he steals the Master Emerald from him, so Knuckles comes around to trust Sonic and to work with him to get the Master Emerald back, and Sonic and Tails later do return the Master Emerald to him. Personally, I think he's great in his first game, maybe a little gullible sometimes, but strong, tough, and clever. I think this Knuckles is an S tier. So yeah, you remember all that character development from Sonic 3 Knuckles, with Knuckles learning that Eggman is a villain after he tries to steal the Master Emerald? Yeah, Sonic Triple Trouble throws that out the window and has Knuckles trust Eggman and be a stumbling block to Sonic again, for no apparent reason. I'll be honest, I really hate this. Now you can chalk it up as just an excuse to keep Knuckles as a rival to Sonic, but the way they did it felt so forced. I like the way Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit does Knuckles, as Metal Sonic copies Knuckles to look like him after fighting him, so the Knuckles that Sonic and Tails encounter is actually Metal Sonic, which is pretty cool. But since this is the original, I gotta give him a D tier. I don't really know much about Knuckles in these three games. I know Knuckles is playable in Sonic R, and he's playable and pretty good in Sonic the Fighters. That's it. Which is why I'm going to put these two in a new tier, which is the just playable tier, as he's, yes, playable, but doesn't have much character besides that. Knuckles also just exists in Sonic 3D Blast, so yeah, I guess D tier it is. Sonic Adventure featured 6 different playable characters that each got their own story. Knuckles is no exception. He starts his story out explaining his job as the guardian of the Master Emerald, and also states how he doesn't know how or why he was given the job in the first place. Out of nowhere, the emerald shatters, which causes Angel Island to plummet into the water. Knuckles spends his campaign collecting pieces of the Master Emerald to try to fix it. While doing this, he, along with the other characters, come across a few visions, which, in Knuckles' case, shows his clan, the Echidna tribe, and their lust for power. At the end of the game, he fixes the Master Emerald once again. He says to himself he doesn't know the full story of why he was tasked with guarding the Emerald, but also tells himself that it's probably better this way. I really like Knuckles in this game. He does get tricked by Eggman again, which sounds bad, but this time I think it's justifiable because he doesn't just straight up team up with him. He knows he's still the enemy. I gotta give Adventure 1 Knuckles the SS tier. I'm just gonna say it right now, Sonic Adventure 2 had the best Knuckles characterization in my opinion, at least for the games. As soon as we get introduced to Knuckles, he's already protecting the Master Emerald, but this time from a Batgirl named Rouge. Eggman soon comes along and tries to steal the Master Emerald, but this time Knuckles actually does a smart move. He breaks the Master Emerald again into pieces, which doesn't sound smart at first, but he now knows how dangerous Eggman is and also knows that he is capable of getting the pieces back, and spends the game chasing the pieces. Another thing I love about Knuckles in SA2 is just how chill he is. I'm not much of a fan of Knuckles being written as a hothead, and I think this game did him really well. And while you may think he doesn't do much in the story, that's because you're looking at it from Sonic's perspective. Through Knuckles' perspective, he's preventing possibly the world from being in danger by collecting the Master Emerald pieces. Like I said, this is my favorite Knuckles, and I definitely think he deserves the SS tier. Sonic Advance gives 4 playable characters, one of which is Knuckles. He doesn't have much of a characterization besides his animations in the game, so I'm giving him the just playable tier. Advance 2 also features 4 characters, at least at the beginning of the game, one of which is, once again, Knuckles. This time he does have some dialogue, and to be honest, they should have just stuck with no dialogue for him. This Knuckles is either a B tier or a D tier in my opinion, depending on what actually takes place. You see, Knuckles apparently gets tricked by Eggman again, and is seen inside a robot that is trying to destroy Sonic. I've tried to search online and find out if he's either trapped inside the robot or willingly trying to destroy Sonic inside of the robot. I've seen good points for both sides, and I'm thinking and hoping that he only got captured inside the robot. As you can see during the fight itself, it looks like he's punching the container he's in. I really hope this is the canon one, because if he actually manages to get tricked by Eggman into destroying Sonic with a mech, yeah, this Knuckles would be a D tier. But I'm thinking he just got captured by it, which is still kind of low, so I'm giving him a C tier. Sonic Heroes has Knuckles done right. He's a playable character on Team Sonic, along with Tails and Sonic himself. His dialogue is pretty great, he's not portrayed as dumb, he's very strong, and even defeats Metal Overlord, the final boss, along with Sonic and Tails. Knuckles still has part of his chill side from SA2, which is cool. I think Scott Dreyer is Knuckles' best voice, and his performance as Knuckles in this game, as well as SA2, was really well done in my opinion. I personally think this Knuckles is top 5, so into the SS tier he goes. Sonic Battle's portrayal of Knuckles is an interesting one, and an okay one, I guess. He's very much a hothead in this game, who often does things before even thinking first. Seeing his characterization in this game makes you wonder if Sonic Heroes even happens, because Knuckles constantly snaps at Sonic, even though they're pretty much on the same side. The cherry on top is that Eggman kinda tricks him again by making him walk right into a trap. Despite all this, he's still very strong and is capable of doing a lot of things, which, yeah, should be expected, but still. I'll give this Knuckles a B tier. Knuckles in Sonic Advance 3 is pretty cool. He becomes a playable character after the second stage in the game, and is actually a lot of fun to play as depending on who you team up with. As far as characterization in this game, he first of all doesn't get tricked, which is awesome. He actually has a pretty funny introduction, and yeah, overall I think he's pretty great in this game. I'm giving him an S tier. Knuckles in Sonic Rush is characterized well, I guess, but he only appears once and kinda gets trashed by Blaze. At least he gives her advice to talk to Sonic about Chaos Emeralds. I think that's at least cool, but yeah, he pretty much talks to Blaze a little bit, gets wrecked, and then freaks out on some rocks, which clears the way for Sonic and Tails. That's it. I'll give this Knuckles a low B tier. He could have been worse. Shadow 05 has the majority of the characters only really appearing in a few missions, which is actually a pretty cool idea for a spin-off. Knuckles appears in 3 levels: Glyphic Canyon, Central City, and Black Comet. He seems pretty cool in this game, which is surprising since Sonic X came out before this and made Knuckles short-tempered, so seeing that he keeps his cool most of the time in this game is nice. I'll give this Knuckles an A tier. Knuckles in Sonic Riders is, he's okay, I guess. He's got the classic Sonic X hot-headedness, which you may be a fan of, but I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. He's not bad in Riders, but he constantly snaps at people, which can kind of get annoying. I'll give him a low B tier. He definitely could have been worse. Now you guys know that I love Sonic 06. It's one of, if not my favorite Sonic game, but one thing I can criticize it for is making Knuckles practically useless. He gives Sonic a message from Eggman, and helps clear a small part of Flame Core and Aquatic Base. And that's about it. Now it is more than he does in Rush, but in Rush it seemed like he was still characterized somewhat well. In 06, this kind of felt like the start of Knuckles' dumb arc, you could say. He starts acting more clumsy and incapable. Because of this, I gotta give him a C tier. The storybook games technically don't have Knuckles, but they do have a Knuckles, you could say. They talk, sound, look, and act just like him, so I'll rank them anyway. Sinbad the Sailor from Sonic and the Secret Rings. He seems like a pretty cool concept of a character. He's known as the Adventurer of Adventurers, Sonic does kind of downplay him a lot, which is funny and in character, I guess, but it can get kind of annoying in my opinion. I'll give Sinbad Knuckles a B tier. Sonic Rider Zero Gravity actually does Knuckles pretty well. He's not portrayed as dumb. He actually helps the gang out by leading them to the Gigan Rocks. And they actually acknowledge that he's a treasure hunter? Yeah, I gotta give this Knuckles an S tier. I've never actually played Sonic Chronicles. I know it has Knuckles in it, but I'm not sure how good he actually is in the game. But if you guys know, be sure to tell me in the comments. And while you're down there, please be sure to like the video and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Anyway, Sir Gawain is the next Knuckles on the list. Honestly, they give him much respect, even if it technically isn't Knuckles. Making him one of the Knights of the Round Table was pretty cool. He gets his own boss fight, has some scenes at the end, and is a playable character once you beat King Arthur. None of the other characters are that good besides Sonic, but it's still cool to play as them in this game. I'm giving Sir Gawain the A tier. He's pretty cool. I also haven't played Sonic Free Riders, so don't have much to say there. Sonic Colors DS has Knuckles kinda getting tricked by Rouge to come out to Starlight Carnival. Why? I don't know, or can't really remember why at least. He's mostly here for comic relief, but the interactions here are actually pretty funny. He still mentions the Master Emerald, which is good, I guess. I'll give this Knuckles a B tier. And now, unfortunately, we come to Knuckles in Sonic Generations. It did get rewritten, thankfully, but I'll just say for the original, I'll give him a D tier. He's just so useless, and not to mention having his character just butchered. But moving on to Lost World, things don't get much better. Knuckles gets reduced to just being a background character that lets animals push him around. In both the original Generations and Lost World, he always says that he would have done better than Sonic, but he never makes any effort to help or do anything else but stand in one place the whole game. I'm sorry, this Knuckles gets a D tier in my opinion. Sonic Mania does Knuckles pretty well. He's playable for the first time since Sonic 06, unless you count the Sonic Boom games, which I don't. Knuckles gets his own story in Mania. It's basically like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where Knuckles goes through Sonic's story, but with some alternate routes and a few new cutscenes. Overall, this Knuckles is pretty cool, so I'll give him an A tier. Forces. As much hate as it gets, it actually does Knuckles decently. He's the commander of the Resistance, a group of people fighting back against Eggman's army after he defeated Sonic and took over the world. Now, to be honest, he does a pretty bad job at it. The idea of him being a commander was cool, but every character except Sonic, Classic Sonic, and the Avatar are practically worthless in this game. So yeah, Forces Knuckles gets a C tier. Team Sonic Racing's the next game on this list, and it does Knuckles okay, I guess. It was the first game to feature Dave B. Mitchell as the voice of Knuckles, who is the current voice actor, and I think he does a really good job. Knuckles is still kind of portrayed as dumb, but it's not nearly to the degree as it was before, so I think it's alright, and I'll give it a B tier. Frontiers Knuckles is next, and he is just awesome, especially the prologue animation. I gotta count the animation as separate, because he's definitely my favorite Knuckles, probably ever in my opinion. He's not hot-headed, he's fast, he's strong, and most importantly, he's clever. This guy deserves the SS tier. As for Knuckles in Frontiers itself, he's still really well written. He doesn't have as many cool moments like the animation, but I am glad they made Sonic and Knuckles bros again. These two are definitely my favorite characters in the series, so seeing them actually have a pretty wholesome moment was pretty cool. Not to mention Knuckles is playable in the final Horizon and helps out during the final boss. I'd say Frontiers Knuckles deserves the S tier. Knuckles in Sonic Dream Team is also pretty good. He's playable, he's pretty well written, and yeah, it's basically more Frontiers Knuckles. But his glide sucks. A tier. Now Knuckles in the Generations rewrite is better than before, but he's still not great. Thankfully they removed Amy hitting Knuckles into a tree, which a lot of people thought was funny, but I really didn't. He's still pretty useless in this game, but at least he's not out of character anymore. High C tier. And finally, we have Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and I just love how much effort they put into each character. Knuckles is no exception. Each character has a rival interaction with each other, which gives us so many moments that the characters get to talk. This is probably my favorite thing about the game. It's awesome. Knuckles' interactions are all really good, so I gotta give him an SS tier. And that is every single Knuckles ranked. Do you guys agree with my list? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm thinking about doing more videos like this, but with different characters. Let me know what characters you think I should do next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather. You can call me Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my muscles, I'm hard as nails. It ain't hard to tell. I break them down whether they solid or frail. Unlike the rest, I'm independent since my first breath. First test, feel the right, then the worst left.